Disclaimer, this is a casual channel for casual sneakers. However, we do have some heavyweights in the running category right here. We have the Pegasus 35 Turbos versus the Vaporfly 4%. And a lot of people wanted to know, even from a casual perspective, a comparison between these two sneakers and which one is more comfortable, pros and cons maybe of each. And so in this video, I wanted to give you guys just a small breakdown of some of the things I love about both of these and some of the things I don't like. So let's go ahead and get into the casual review of both of these shoes. What's going on, guys? Hass here, collectivekicks.com. And if you guys want to shop this week's top sneaker deals, check the link in the description, and happy shopping. Today's video, again, I'm going to be comparing both of these shoes by request because a lot of people want to know how the ZoomX compares in the Pegasus Turbo versus the 4%. Now, I've had these since they originally came out, and you can see, even from a casual perspective, I beat these guys up really, really good in a month's wear. I wore the heck out of those. I've worn these for a handful of weeks thus far, and I will have a follow-up after wearing for a month. And so far, so great on this shoe. But there's a couple of things that I love about both of these shoes, and definitely some things that I don't like. So I know both of these shoes are definitely high performance sneakers, but from a casual perspective, they still are some of the best sneakers that I've ever tried on my feet. You notice there's a trend with this sort of stuff because the retro runners from back in the day, like the Air Maxes and everything, those were designed for performance, but they've definitely taken on their own casual lifestyle side of things. So the casual lifestyle side of things looks at shoes like these and knows that they're for performance and knows that there's cushioning on these shoes for long distance running. But also, if you're just walking around casually, like this could be something that could be really great for your feet. So ZoomX, if you don't know, is the newest, latest and greatest technology from Nike. React is a harder foam comparison to ZoomX, and it is definitely responsive and comfortable. But the ZoomX material is actually crazy, weird, and soft, and very, very lightweight. So it's extremely light and it's extremely soft, as you could see. It has a very interesting feel to the ZoomX as well, but it's the craziest, softest material that I've felt in a long time. Obviously, you can see it wrinkles very, very easily also. So right off the bat, the primary difference between these two shoes right here is, unfortunately, the false advertising on the Turbos versus the 4%. $180 for the Turbo, $250 for the Vaporfly. These are supposed to be racing shoes only, so game day performance, long distance running, blah, blah, blah. This is supposed to be like your everyday, like sort of running shoe that would lead you up to the big dance to be able to actually wear these for the race. But which honestly, if you think about that mentality, it really doesn't make any sense because like usually runners like to break in their sneakers and wear the most comfortable ones that are broken in. And what's the point of wearing these if you haven't broken them in? But that's neither here nor there. The reason why this is false advertising to me is because this, where it says ZoomX, is actually not ZoomX. This is actually React. The top layer right here is actually the ZoomX. So I find it offensive that they call it ZoomX, and a lot of the branding, they don't show that this midsole is actually ZoomX and React. It just says ZoomX and it shows the entire midsole. And like, I don't understand how they can get away with that. Like, honestly, some of the side notes of the product does say that there's React in the bottom. It's supposed to offset the ZoomX because the ZoomX kind of lacks that structure, I guess, that the React has. But it's kind of crazy that you have to go dig and dig and dig to find that article that has that specific saying of the ZoomX and the React versus like the Pegasus Turbo page, however, doesn't say anything about React. And some of the promotions just definitely don't show that there's React in the shoe. And at first glance, like I didn't even think about it in my initial review because it looks fairly similar because they both wrinkle. But if you really look up close and you know the feeling of the ZoomX, it's very, very apparent that this top part right here is the ZoomX, and then this is actually React on the bottom. This 4% is full length ZoomX. There is ZoomX on the top layer, there's ZoomX on the bottom. So that's one primary difference between these two shoes. The other major difference is the 4% has a carbon fiber plate that comes through the middle of the shoe. So it's ZoomX, carbon fiber, ZoomX, and it gives you a rocket-like jet propulsion feel when you step and rock forward because you're rocking off of that sandwiched carbon fiber, which feels amazing and different and definitely unmatched by anything on the market. You definitely don't get that same sensation in this shoe right here. So one of the things that I like to show is that this carbon fiber plate is a serious business. You can't bend this shoe backwards. Like, it's firm forward facing like this, and you literally rock off of the shoe right here because you can't bend it backwards. This, however, doesn't have that. And so like, obviously you can bend the shoe and stuff. So there is a major difference there for those that want that jet rocket-like propulsion. You get that in this shoe. You absolutely do not get that one in this one. So from a running perspective, I mean, you guys can correct me in the comment section, but this would be like a sensation that I would probably prefer if I was going to actually do running, to be able to feel like that spring back. Because in this shoe, personally, I don't feel the responsiveness. Now, I know that it's supposed to be off the charts with responsiveness because that's what the Nike testing says or whatever, that these are super responsive. These, in my opinion, are super well cushioned, but I don't feel that responsiveness. Because your foot sinks so far into the shoe, it doesn't really feel like it's going to be like bouncing back super fast. It feels more like you're sinking in and then you're coming out, like compressing and then slowly coming off. I don't feel the responsiveness in these as even I would in the Nike React. And the only reason why I think that this one is extra responsive again is because of that carbon fiber plate. So that's the major difference between these two. I think there's a couple positives about this shoe better than the 4%. And one of the major differences is the traction on the bottom. You definitely have better traction on the Pegasus than on the 4%. And I think that this is going to wear a lot better than the 4%. Part of the reason why is because, again, this has the ZoomX on the bottom. This has the React on the bottom, and the React is a little bit durable. But you also do have a rubber piping around the sole of the shoe. While I criticize the fact that they have React in the shoe along with the ZoomX, I understand the purpose and I understand the function. And I think that it is the best of both worlds because you do have that softness of the ZoomX, but you also have the firmness of the React material, which is a great combination between the two. So I just don't like the false branding on it personally. So the soles are a clear winner on the Pegasus. I would say the overall upper structure and design, I honestly love the Pegasus better than the 4%. I actually like the materials used on the Pegasus better than the 4%, but I also love the overall structure and the look of the Pegasus over the 4%. The 4% just looks weird to me. The 4% to me is just a little bit too minimalistic. There's no heel support, as you can see in the back of the shoe. The Pegasus definitely has more heel support. The ventilation is much better in the 4%, so if that's a major concern of yours, then the 4% is probably definitely the better way to go. But the extra padding on the tongue and the overall aesthetic value of that is 1,000 times better than this one, in my opinion. This one's just so flimsy, and honestly, it gets twisted sideways when I wear them all the time, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. Like, also, you have to lace these ones up to feel any sort of structure on your shoe. Otherwise, they feel very unstable, in my opinion. And I haven't had to unlace these at all. I just literally slip these on and go. And for me personally, that's like the best lifestyle, where I wake up late in the morning, grab my coffee or whatever, and throw these on real quick and get out the door. I don't have to sit down, unlace, slip the shoe on, then relace them just right so they feel snug. And I like the Pegasus Turbo way better than the 4%. But all in all, between these two, I would say the cushioning is excellent on both of the shoes. The Pegasus Turbo is definitely a step above a regular Epic React or something like this. It's definitely more noticeable with the comfort and cushioning in this shoe than any other shoe on the market, except for the 4%. I think the cushioning in the 4% is probably the best match with the responsiveness of the carbon fiber plate. But the overall upper structure, I love the Pegasus Turbo much, much better. And the overall like winner for me personally is probably the Pegasus Turbo with all around functionality and style and everything else. I think that this is next to the Ultra Boost to me, with some of the best technology and best visual of a pair of sneakers. The 4% is the best technology with respect to the actual technology in the cushioning alone, but everything else kind of falls short for me on this shoe. But the Pegasus Turbo so far to me is just basically the ultimate Nike shoe. After trying hundreds of Nike shoes through the decades that I've tried Nike shoes on, these ones are the ones that stand out the most to me and are worth every penny of the $180 that these are. I know it's a steep price point, but the combination between the technology, just everything about the shoe I love, except for the misbranding on the shoe. But that's forgivable just for the fact that, again, I absolutely love the shoe. So that is my thoughts on these two shoes in comparison between the 4% and the Turbos. Leave some comments in the comment section. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? You guys can be ultra critical down there. I know I'm not a runner. For those people that are runners, leave your feedback. If you've tried both of these, how right or wrong am I? Again, personally, I've talked to a lot of people that are serious runners, and they don't like either of these shoes. They don't want the crazy amount of cushioning that either of these shoes offer, because it's almost too cushioned. It's almost like it's more of an effort to take the step because you don't feel the bounce back that they would necessarily want. And it's almost too much cushioning. Like regular Zoom is a lot better for a lot of people from what they've said than the ZoomX, from serious runners that I know. But again, everybody's different and everybody has different feet and body weights and compositions and everything else. So ultimately, I mean, it just depends on what is the best for you. But casually speaking though, both are awesome. Both are extremely well cushioned and both highly recommended. Most bang for your buck though, especially with aesthetics. But thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hopefully this video was somewhat informative to you guys. If you guys missed my full detailed review of these already, go check out that video. I will have an updated video of me wearing these and let you guys know if they're as good as day one that I wore them. But subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, notification bell if you want to be notified of when I post. And at this time, if you guys want to click the screen and watch any of the other videos, feel free to do so. We will catch you guys for some more videos very soon. Peace, guys.